Welcome back, everyone. So, last night I was on Twitter and I seen a video come up that Cooper Academy posted, and that's a YouTube channel I subscribe to, and I also follow him on Twitter. And so what this video was about, guys, was the fight between KSI and Logan Paul, okay? And so the big takeaway I got from this video was to, not get too involved with the social side of YouTube, but to try to do more useful things with your time, like spend time with family and work on your side hustle and, read a book and ride your bicycle and do things. That's a very good takeaway, and there's a very good lesson on that. But I also feel like there was a lot of things left out, and that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Now, real quick, before we go any further, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys, so you don't miss any stock market or investing related videos. Alright, so the Logan Paul and KSI fight is taking place today on YouTube, and it is a pay-per-view event, okay? So I think they're charging $10. I've seen some platforms charging like $7 or $8. I've seen some as high as $15, and then I've also heard you'll be able to watch it free. It has got a lot of attention on it right now. But what I see here, guys, is a really big investing opportunity, okay? Because that is looking at the surface. That's looking at a very surface type of thing. That Logan Paul, KSI having a fight, $10 a card. But Google, and more specifically YouTube, is going to use this fight for a lot of research, and I think it's all in an attempt to disrupt the pay-per-view markets. I mean, let's just kind of step back for a second and look at this thing. So YouTube has put both of these guys, Logan Paul, KSI, on this huge platform, okay? They've given them this humongous platform. Both of these guys have 18 million plus subscribers, okay? They're not professional fighters. Neither one of these dudes are professional fighters, okay? I know KSI has had a boxing match before, but neither one of these guys are professional fighters. And they could, after tonight, after a few days have passed, and they can tally up how much revenue has been made off of this, I think it's going to be very, very disruptive to any fight promotion. And honestly, if I was Dana White, or I was, was in one of the executives for the UFC, I would be very nervous right now. If YouTube ends up creating a lot of revenue that these guys have self-promoted, you're saving a lot of money by using a platform like YouTube to promote your fight. And $10 for an entry card is a whole lot cheaper than $60 for a UFC fight, or $100 for a boxing fight. Guys, what I got pulled up here is the 5 biggest HBO or Showtime boxing fights of all time, okay? So Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao fought in 2015. That was the biggest boxing match of all time. Of course, I think pretty much everybody remembers a year ago when Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fought. That was the second biggest boxing match of all time. So within that statement right there, there's some originality, is that Conor McGregor is not a boxer, okay? He was a UFC champion, but he is not a professional boxer, and still managed to produce the second highest boxing match in the history of pay-per-view. So take note of that. Things are changing. Sports are evolving, and it's not the same industry it was, let's say, 20 or 30 years ago. Now we'll take a look at the 5 biggest UFC fights of all time, okay? Now, boxing is creates a whole lot more revenue than the UFC does. You can't even really compare the two sports. Boxing outproduces the UFC year after year. But let's take a look here. So back in 2016, the biggest UFC fight of all time was Diaz versus Conor McGregor, part 2. So there, Conor McGregor is coming up again, and he's just an absolute pay-per-view draw. Okay, no matter what sport he's playing, he gets a lot of buy rates and a lot of revenue. Number 2 was Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir 2. Number 3, Conor McGregor, Diaz 1. Alvarez versus McGregor was number 4, and Jose Aldo versus McGregor comes in at number 5. So what we can kind of generate from this, guys, is just some kind of revenue and buy rate numbers that we can compare and contrast to the Logan Paul and KSI experimental fight on YouTube tonight. So where is the investment opportunity in this fight? I think the investment opportunity has probably already been there all along. So after this fight, guys, like I said, the big thing is be paying attention to how much revenue was produced, buy rates, viewer rates, and then you also have a lot of other stuff to factor in along the way, like ad revenue and how much affiliation was used during this fight. And there's just a million different metrics that we really need to look at. But the investment opportunity, guys, in my opinion, it just makes me even more bullish on Google stock, okay? I call this one of the strongest buys on the market. You know, I didn't really figure up a price target for Google. You know, I bought into Google stock back when it was $700 a share, and I still hold a pretty good chunk of it to this day. But honestly, my honest gut feeling here is that this is just the pay-per-view market is just going to be another thing that YouTube is going to penetrate, and I'd say in 3 to 5 years they could very easily be a serious player in the pay-per-view markets. And so that's a huge threat to the UFC, and that's a huge threat to HBO and Showtime. And so Google already has so much market space, okay? They have never found their way into the pay-per-view market. Like I said, this is the key in the door right here, and it just makes me even more bullish on. So if you don't own shares of Google stock yet, you have not bought shares of Google stock yet, I would make sure that it'd be one of the next positions I pick up in your portfolio. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it. Make sure to drop me a like and leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this video, and have a great day and enjoy the fight tonight.